Hi, and welcome to our first film review of the month. We are shifting gears and we're going to be talking about comfort stories throughout the month of November, starting off with today's feature film, The Princess Bride from 1987. I'm Michelle Hickey, the director of Film and Paper Club, which is a community of creatives who gather together to watch movies, television shows, read books, eat snacks, and talk about all of it. If you're someone who loves all of those things and loves sharing your thoughts about it, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button so that you won't miss out on any of the videos that we share here every Friday. I'm not going to be spoiling too much about the plot of this movie, but I still wanted to give the spoiler warning just in case you haven't seen Princess Bride and you don't want to know anything about it. Please pause this and go watch the movie first. I know that for a lot of my friends, The Princess Bride was a really big part of their childhood. But I didn't see this movie for the first time until I was in high school, and I've only seen it 2 times since, this rewatch being one of them. I do think that this is the kind of film that would be experienced in a wildly different way, whether you watched it in your childhood and watch it over and over again, or if you were experiencing this for the first time as an adult. So sound off in the comments. Let me know where you're coming from. What age were you when you first saw The Princess Bride? This movie is an anomaly. It is something really special. I don't consider this to be a modern fairy tale. I think that it is an actual fairy tale. And while it feels very comedic, I don't think that I would call this a parody, and it is beloved by so many people. So I think it falls outside of that cult classic territory. I had a really hard time coming up with the title of another film that I could compare to The Princess Bride. The closest thing I could come up with was Shrek, but that's animated, so I feel like it is in a class of its own. Upon this rewatch, I think that it should be included in the AFI Top 100. Nobody has done anything like this movie before, and I don't think that anyone has done anything like it since. Last week we talked about what is it that made the film Knives Out so good? What was the secret formula that Rian Johnson used? And I found myself asking those same kind of questions in rewatching The Princess Bride. To start, the choice to frame this film with this subplot of a grandson being homesick from school and having his grandfather come and read to him was so simple and so brilliant. Even if you're someone who watches a lot of fantasy films, I think that the first time you experience a new story, there is like a lot to take in. There's a lot of new characters to learn. You have to learn kind of the rules of the world. You're taking in this new setting, and for me, oftentimes it can be a little overwhelming. But with this framing device, the grandson acts almost as a buffer between your world and his world, and then the world of the story that we are about to experience. And he is this friend that's going to be with you along for this journey and asking all of the same questions that you want to be asking, including my favorite line.
Is this a kissing book?
I think that experience of having someone to journey through the story with is comforting in itself. The acting in this movie is top notch. Every actor in this film not only gives a stellar performance, but they also play off one another so well.
You could lower a rope or a tree branch or find something useful to do.
I could do that. I have got some rope up here, but I do not think it would accept my help, since I am only waiting around to kill you.
That does put a damper on our relationship.
I don't know this to be true, but I got the sense that this was just this really great creative team of people who were doing everything they can to help one another do the best job.
Why are you smiling?
Because I know something you don't know.
And what is that?
I am not left-handed.
Another thing I adored in this rewatch was the writing. The dialogue is so smart, it is so witty, and while director Rob Reiner did not write this film, he did direct 2 films that I have seen countless times, This is Spinal Tap and When Harry Met Sally. And since it had been so long since I had seen The Princess Bride, and I had seen This is Spinal Tap and When Harry Met Sally so many times since then, I was really able to see Rob Reiner's creative style all over this film. And this is one of the many things I love about rewatching, because depending on where you are in your life and what you have experienced since the last time you saw the film or read the book or watched the TV episode, you're going to be viewing it and experiencing it through a new lens. And in this experience, I was able to draw those parallels to Rob Reiner's other films, which just made me love all three of them even more. Writing a fairy tale, a new fairy tale, is no easy task, and the idea of writing one that might compete with The Princess Bride feels a little outlandish. However, I thought that a fun, creative exercise based on this movie would be to write your own personal fairy tale based on your life. As always, please apply this to your favorite creative medium. So whether you want to write this, paint it, draw it, write a song about it, or do some combination, you can start with these prompts. What would be your character's journey or quest? Who are your supporting characters? Who or what is the villain, and how does it end? If you create something fun and want to share it, please share a link with us in the comments. I always love seeing the creative projects that you're working on, especially the ones that are inspired by your favorite stories. If you're someone who loves conversations like this, I would be delighted if you joined us inside of our Film and Paper Club community. Our members are treated to weekly film guides that accompany our films, along with food and drink pairings and creative prompts. You also gain access to all of our live virtual community events. And best of all, you have access to our forum where you can discuss and share your thoughts about all of your favorite movies, TV shows, and books. Head over to members.filmandpaperclub.com for all of your membership options. Before you go, if you loved this discussion, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of our new content. Next week, we are continuing with our theme of comfort films and watching a community pick, 1995's While You Were Sleeping. I have so many thoughts, and I hope that you can join me for that discussion. I'll see you then.
And scene.